You are now listening to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast, a weekly review of Monday Night Raw and other wrestling-related topics. And here's your hosts, Peter Day and Jake Grandi.
1, 2, 1, 2.
How's it going, everybody?
Buddha monks in the trunk, turn the bass up. So, if it sounds a little different, we're actually using microphones this time.
I like it.
And we're trying to sound a little more professional, you know? That's what's up. Welcome to Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin. And we forgot to do a injury angle for your departure of last week. And I swear to God, trying to get someone to fill in for a podcast is like the hardest thing you can ever do.
Yeah, I thought Arthur said something about missing doing the podcast on Twitter or something, and he didn't show up. Alexa, what's up?
Man, I don't know. Your dad, I tried to send him a tweet last second. Everybody's MIA. So, what you do?
Oh, I went to South Dakota for a wedding. I also went to Denver, Colorado, went to St. Louis. Saw Mount Rushmore. My tire blew out around like 9:30 last night in the hills of West Virginia. We got that all fixed and we drove back. We got back at like 3 a.m. I woke up at 7 a.m. and I've been watching wrestling all day. I watched NXT, watched Battleground, went to the bank, had to go to the bank for something, ate lunch, and then watched Raw, and now I'm doing this podcast.
You drove all the way to Washington?
No, not Washington, South Dakota.
You drove to South Dakota?
Yeah.
That's where Mount Rushmore is?
Yeah, it's in Hill City, South Dakota.
For some reason, I thought it was in Washington.
No. It's
all right, people. I know nothing about American geography.
Dude, I definitely learned a lot. I didn't know shit until this week, and then I kind of know where everything's at now. Don't ever go to Omaha, but South Dakota's an alright place.
What's wrong with Omaha?
Omaha's shitty, man. I'm sorry if you're listening from Omaha. Maybe.
Is it like? Have
you ever like maybe like taken like a redneck family to the big city? That's the whole city.
Oh wow!
I'm sorry if you're from Omaha, but that's just my impression of it.
Omaha. You just buried Omaha.
I mean, they had a lot of nice casinos there, but that's I don't know.
You just buried Omaha.
Man, fine, I'm cool with that.
Oh man, so not lots, but enough to talk about, I guess.
Yeah, lots of shit happened, dude.
Let's go ahead and let's next time agree to next time either of us we can't make it 1 week. We got to do an injury angle.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
So we're off we're off the podcast for a week. It's because we have a damaged trachea.
I'm down.
A back problem, or
maybe like a throat angle would be nice.
Yeah, trachea, or a cyst. What do they call that shit?
A cyst? Yeah.
No, the staph infection.
Oh, like Ryback.
Yes, staph infection.
STAPH. I know he got a lot of shit on Twitter for spelling it wrong, right?
Who?
Ryback. He tweeted out that he got a staph infection, and a lot of times people be like, "Oh, get well soon, Ryback," whatever. No, half of Twitter is just correcting him on his spelling.
Yeah, it's a bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, I get it. He spelled something wrong, but wish the man get well soon, something like that.
No, but that's how us nerds are. Like, not us. It's how y'all nerds are.
Oh,
I mean, like, sometimes I've been on YouTube on different videos and stuff, depending, like, if it's wrestling or if I'm tweeting something and I misspell something. Someone would be like, "Oh, it's spelled this way," and I'm just like, "Who gives a fuck?"
Yeah. Did you get the message? Did you get the point?
No, they're too busy trying to be autocorrect.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't understand the satisfaction out of it. There's like, well, it's spelled this way.
Yeah, he said something like, "Thank you to all the spelling bee champions," and then he's like hashtag meathead or something like that. Like, he made a little joke about it, but I mean, come on, people.
He kind of has no other choice.
Give him a get well soon. Give him a get better Ryback, Icy Champ Ryback, something. Don't Don't shit on him like that, man. He's a
He's
wrestler.
not being shitted on. He's just being like nerded on.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Fuck you. If you're listening to this and you always have like the tendency to correct people's spelling online, like cut that shit out. It's really a waste of everyone's time.
If you really wanted them to be a better speller, hit him with a direct message or something, you know. But you're trying to
just don't at all.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if the point is trying to help them, only tell them. Don't put it on the world.
If I can't spell like stroganoff, I've made it this far without knowing how to spell stroganoff. So if I misspell it at that moment in time, you know, I'm good.
You're good, yeah.
You know, everything's fucking A-okay. Just like, you know. So
that sounded personal right there. Did you misspell stroganoff one time?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I think one time I misspelled root. I think I said root, but I was like R-O-U-T-E.
Yeah, something like that.
And then someone was like, "Well, how do you root for somebody?" I was like, "By cheering for him, you jackass." And then he was like, "No, it's R-O-O-T." I was like, "I'm not trying to dig him up."
Yeah.
Like, either way, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Let's get because we're just to let you know, we're adjusting to this. This setup is pretty funny.
It's cool.
And you got to not lean back.
Okay.
You got to be up on the mic.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Just like a radio host.
All right, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm leaning. I'm good.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So yeah, the microphones, we got a different setup. We're recording to my computer, and see, I'm even guilty of doing it now. So if this conversation comes off uncomfortable, it's just because of our body posture. We're gonna get used to it at some point.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. So we had fucking Battleground and WWE Battleground, a pay-per-view that the last time we spoke, I wasn't even that excited about it.
Yeah, I watched it, and I wasn't excited prior, and I thought it definitely was just a run-of-the-mill show until the end.
I didn't think it was that run-of-the-mill, per se.
There was no... Titles didn't change.
Well, it's not supposed to. I mean, you have SummerSlam right up the road.
Yeah, sure.
So you can't really make too many big changes in terms of... we find out on Raw with the primetime players losing their Los Matadores because of
New Day.
Because of New Day interference. So that feud isn't over. I mean, I think out of all the feuds that bit the dust, it would have been Cena Owens. That's the only, and Rollins, the feud for now, Rollins and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
because I know contest he's still eligible for his. I would like to think, unless something I don't know yet.
I don't know.
If there's a DQ or no contest, he's still eligible for his rematch.
Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure they'll work something out like that. But as of now, I'm not sure. I mean, I just know that the championship does not change hands if it is a DQ or anything like that.
Would you want Brock at some point to get another shot at the belt?
Yeah, I think there's tons of ways you can do it. Do that match. We're coming off of the match with him and Taker. If he wins, I definitely think that he should get a shot at the belt. And if he loses, I think maybe he should go away for a while.
Well, he's going to go away for a while, regardless. It's Brock Lesnar.
Well, I think if he wins the next pay-per-view, he should get the belt and then leave again, just like he did last year. And that should, that could get his heat back that he's leaving with the belt again. And then,
but he's such a great babyface. That's the problem.
Well, and put him against Taker's taking that babyface heat away. No one's going to cheer.
We'll get to that. We will get to that because that's been the discussion. Well, from the podcast I listened to, PW Torch, and
MLW.
See, I haven't listened to them in a while. They're not on Stitcher anymore.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I need to get my iTunes up. I don't want to download shit like that.
I listen to them, but the thing is with them is they come out Sunday evening. So a lot of the times, especially if there's a pay-per-view, it's old. Yeah. As soon as it comes up.
Yeah. Or
not knocking them, it's a great podcast.
Or even I listened to the Steve Austin podcast today.
Yeah.
With Wade Keller, and first and foremost, being that it's fucking Wade Keller who's in the Wrestling Hall of Fame in Iowa, not Luthez. Is it Luthez?
I know he has one.
Yeah, it's the not the Luthez. There's another guy.
Is it Danny Hodge?
No. It's the. Oh man, I'm so horrible for forgetting the name right now.
But the Wrestling Hall of Fame in Iowa.
Yeah, in Iowa, whatever.
I know it's the one where they have
it hit me in a minute.
It's the one where they have the amateur wing and the pro wrestling wing, right?
Yeah. And he's just was inducted, and Stone Cold Steve Austin is a guy that, you know, he was the top guy. He's been in the business from the bottom to the top, and he knows backstories and he understands theory and philosophies. So whatever I say, it's not like when I bring up what he thinks, I'm not going to do that the entire time. But like, other than say what happened with,
there's a certain amount of validation.
Oh God, it trumps everything that I think of, and it's not that I disagreed with him at first. It's that like I agree with what the fuck he said. I already agreed with him before he even said it. It's just the way that he explained it. It just made more sense. So, do you have the card in front of you for the pay-per-view?
Yeah. Would you like me to read it off?
So who won the first? R-Truth beat. R-Truth lost to
Bear. That was a pre-show match.
Yes, it was
I didn't get to watch that.
It was a waste of time. I mean, I tried to not watch it.
I gotta be honest, I forgot.
Well, it's not like you forgot anything. Barrett wins. I thought he was going to lose. I predicted he was going to lose because the way that he's just been booked, and plus this was a very face-driven show. You know, like you could just tell it was a face-driven show going into SummerSlam. And yeah, I was just like, just make up your mind what you want to do with the kid, with that guy.
Yeah,
with Bray, just not Bray, but Barrett. And R-Truth is always just going to be a working hand. The way they had him jigabooing and fucking doing that dumb shit, I just can't stand. So I just hope he's gone for a while. Not because I don't like him as an athlete.
Oh, he was the star of that brawl on Monday, though. He made sure to get his TV time. He was always in front of Brock, holding Brock back, being vocal. Get back, Brock! Get back, Brock!
He was actually, when they came out of the break, he was like the guy right beside him.
He knew where the camera was.
Yeah. He's like the Brock Whisperer.
Oh, yeah.
So he was trying to be the Brock Whisperer.
Yeah, why would he be able, like, in storyline, why was he the one, like, calming down Brock, like, talking to Brock and stuff? Like, they'd never been friends. They'd never been enemies.
Because I think, because, like, what's his name? What the hell is his name? Why am I drawing a blank now with all names? Sabu.
Yeah.
Sabu in the back, he's just known as a complete badass, right? I'd imagine R-Truth is someone you don't fuck with in the back either. I think kayfabe.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I bet nobody's fucks with R-Truth.
No. Older dude, been in the business a while.
I bet the guy can just outright fight, though.
Yeah.
I bet he's a fighting fucker. You know what I'm saying? He's like maybe one eyelash away from being like a UFC fighter. That's what I take out of it.
Maybe back in the day. He's up there in age now, but I can definitely.
But I bet if he actually went toe to toe, it was just like a fight with Brock. I bet out of all the guys in the back, he would probably have the best chance. And I'm not being because he's black, I'm black. I'm not being biased. I just go, well, who else on that roster looked like they could actually go at least toe to toe with him in a brawl? Orton?
Maybe Orton. Cesaro, maybe.
Cesaro, maybe.
He's strong enough.
Yeah,
he could definitely take it.
Well, just throwing blows though.
Yeah. I don't know.
And getting hemmed up. I don't know. I just don't see him. I see him as like, what the fuck. Well, anyway, so what did you think about this feud? I mean, I guess
Barrett and I thought it had its spot on the card. It was comedy angle. It was good in ring. I didn't have a problem with it. But maybe it's time for them to both move on. I like to see them both in other feuds now that they've kind of had a few matches.
He has his spots of seriousness, especially when it came down to his last promo he's cut before the match. He was serious.
Oh, really?
I was like, I like this. I like this R-Truth. Because he's talking about, I'm out here having fun. Like, I'm looking at this plunger. I got this crown on. Yeah, this is more psychological. I'm fucking with them, basically.
Yeah.
I'm not taking this serious, whatever. But I just hope he moves into something where he's taken more serious in his role than that, and I just hope Barrett moves up. Not necessarily up the card. I don't want him fighting for the belt. I just want him
another level of serious.
Yeah, and if he does, his contract runs out, there's always Lucha Underground. He would be awesome. So next on the card,
we had the first match, Curtain Jerker. I was surprised about this. Sheamus versus hometown hero Randy Orton.
Him going out first, I thought that was amazing too.
I was shocked, but I guess he's so over that's just a good way to get the crowd hot right off the bat.
Yeah, I think that was the whole purpose. But in very much Sheamus, Randy Orton form, I just don't care to see them in the ring. They have dueling styles that just are not compatible. But it was hard to invest in any one guy because the momentum changed was every 2 minutes. No one got any real heat on
it. It was real dull.
It went 22 minutes.
Yeah, and it really did, I know that's the whole thing, but it really did feel like the RKO just came out of nowhere. There was no real build-up to the finish. It just, boom. And
okay, I hit you hit me a couple of times, you put me in a headlock, I put you in a headlock. I hit you some more, you hit me some more.
Yeah, it was like they
for
were
22 minutes.
Literally going back and forth, no build up he tried to go for this spot and then it was countered, or he went for the spot the first time, he went back and then it was countered, psychology, playing out the story to where we could get invested. It was kind of just back and forth until
RKO.
Yeah, it looked like they were just kind of stalling until they'd have the time filled.
But you have to also take in consideration that it was only 6 matches.
Yeah,
so you're talking about good 15 minutes. You take a good 15 to 20 minutes that was taken out, and then they had to distribute those extra minutes, those extra 3 minutes to everyone's match, and then put on the Divas match.
I think it hurt. It hurt some matches like this one, and I feel like it helped one in particular. I think it helped Bray and Roman. I feel like that was a good match.
So? So I guess. Okay, we still got Sheamus as the Money in the Bank holder,
but he's losing. He's going down fast.
He's supposed to. I mean, he's supposed to lose to Randy Orton, and he's supposed to lose to the babyface in this. He's supposed to lose to Randy Orton in his hometown. It's just that he serves no purpose with the Money in the Bank. He serves no purpose with it. There's no. Just give me some ambition. It's he doesn't seem ambitious with it. He rarely talks about it.
Yeah.
They really talk.
He kind of holds it up at the entrance, but that's just a gesture. Mm-hmm. It doesn't get talked about a lot from Cole, JBL, and King, or any of them. I guess this is just a down year for that storyline in general. I don't think they know what they're going to do.
And I still think it just doesn't need to exist. It doesn't need to exist anymore. The Money in the Bank doesn't need to exist anymore. Its purpose is.
This is just a bad year, but I really like it. When it's done well, it's one of the best things done. The cash-in, Edge's CM Punk. When Ziggler did it, I think 2 years ago. Rollins did it at Mania this year. RVD did it in the ECW One Night Stand pay-per-view. So when it's done right, it's done pretty well. And plus, I think it's a good gimmick for someone to have who is kind of stuck in the middle, but just it's a good idea to maybe put it on a Sheamus, but it just isn't working
because
for some reason.
He's a company man with it.
Yeah,
he's look, we need to put it on you, and you have to do any and everything possible to clear out for the real storylines to go as you just hold it. I think, and no one's going to be hey man, why hasn't he cashed in yet? Blah 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 blah. If it would have been Ziggler, it would have been Reigns. We've all been talking about it.
Yeah.
When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? We're not at all, and I think it's their game plan coming. I guess what's the word I want to say is it's their game plan just working for them in terms of.
I think it'll be on him. Maybe he'll cash it in a Hell in a Cell or something like that, a pay-per-view where. They already have a selling point of it, but then they need a world title match. I feel like it'll happen then. It'll be real quiet.
If I was to make a prediction I don't think he cashes it at all. I almost think that when they're ready for the Money in the Bank storyline to sort of like set in, they'll actually give it to someone else. He'll lose it in a fight with someone else, and that person just might not. I mean, it would have to be another heel with momentum.
A heel?
Mm-hmm. Because the Money in the Bank contract it is specifically a heel's tool. Because it's not like you're going to get a babyface coming out. Like, you look at the dynamics of, like, babyfaces and heels.
Mm-hmm.
Babyfaces do it the right way. They don't cut corners in order to win. Money in the Bank is what it is. It's a corner cut to win. And it just doesn't reflect the babyface. Now, what babyface has... John Cena, he didn't cash in, unfortunately, reluctantly.
Yeah.
For whoever held the belt. He was like, no, I'm going to actually just face you man to man.
Yeah,
right?
The John Cena thing.
You look at all the rest of the Money in the Bank holders. They were all heels, and they all cashed in when they saw the opportunity to.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't fit. To me, it just doesn't fit a babyface. That's why when we gave our predictions, I did Sheamus, but I didn't go into it thinking that Sheamus was just going to be this company man with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I it's definitely a down year for it. And he is definitely a company man.
Where does Orton go after this?
I could see maybe Orton, maybe Owens. I mean, I don't see. It looks like Cena's kind of transitioning out of that feud, and I can definitely see Owens versus Orton. That would be good. Pop a powerbomb RKO kind of like finishers out of nowhere type. And Owens is one of the few guys that gets to it's seen as top. So I would say if you're the WWE, you need to keep him somewhere up there. Putting him with an Orton.
No. We get to Owens because we'll backtrack to previous conversations, but Orton is just floundering right now. We got SummerSlam coming up, and it is one of those things where it's like, well, which direction does he go in? Because he has nothing. Yeah,
he came in facing Cena for the U.S. Challenge. Now Cena's moved on, and he's just there. He doesn't have the NXT belt anymore.
No, I'm talking about Orton.
I mean, I guess Owens is going to wrestle on that NXT show at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So unless he's wrestling back,
he's not wrestling back to back. No, he will not. Out if he takes, he actually has a slot on the
card at all.
On the card at all.
I can definitely see that. Maybe Orton versus maybe a Cesaro. That'd be a good match. I don't see how they could spin that. There's two faces.
Yeah, there's two faces. I mean, it would be either Rusev or I think the de facto is Rusev. Or possibly turning him.
Turning Orton?
Yeah, and this when he'll face Cesaro, or that face Ryback. But I don't know.
Ryback's hurt though.
But he wouldn't go for the Intercontinental Championship. Big Show maybe. Do they rekindle something with?
I don't know.
Mark Henry, it's just bleak. It's bleak. Who's next?
New Day and the Primetime Players. This is always a good match, always a good feud. Woods is always hilarious in the ring. I think Primetime Players aren't as over as they should be holding the belts, but they're definitely good wrestlers. I mean, we've talked a lot about Titus O'Neil. And Darren Young holds his own too with moveset. Remember, he wiped out the cameraman in this match. That was kind of wild. So I don't know. The tag belts seem kind of stagnant. I think they're waiting for the Usos to come back.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just feel like they're way too vanilla as a babyface champion. They're way too vanilla. That doesn't allow the average wrestling viewer to invest in them. There's no real reason to invest, because they don't take themselves seriously until they're in the ring, of course, and then they're all business. But their character development, the way that they're positioned, it's not to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And there's no real substance. So when they're in the ring, we haven't even really, they haven't really had like a polished finisher yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no polished finish.
Yeah.
To either, because he has that fucking, I guess, that gut check move.
The backbreaker.
And then I think it's called the Titus, which is like a sit down, like a running sit down power bomb. But like, there's no the only thing that's over with them is when O'Neal gets the hot tag and he gets in the corner and does you know, he drops it, he does
the big splash.
Fucking, they went nuts over that shit.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was pretty awesome, and it was like, that's something right there, and that's the first thing I said. You know, thought when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's something right there. And as for the New Day, they got heat. They got great heat. They come out, they cut a promo, you know, and it's, they get mad heat, and people like them. They're actually transitioning that 3-clap thing is transitioning over to other things.
Oh yeah,
like even on Raw, I think somebody did something in the vein of that clap. So they're they're crossing over, and I like that. And maybe why they can't position them as the heels that a babyface can take the titles from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see them chasing the belt.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's a weird dynamic. I feel like the primetime players and pretty much the whole tag team division right now is set up for just a dominant heel team. And I mean, Kid and Cesaro was that, but they just got so over with the in-ring.
Wish
they were that. They revitalized this tag team division.
Wish.
Oh, dude. I mean,
I think what happened with what happened with New Day, how they transitioned from like that annoying gimmick to something that's really awesome, and then the charisma they have, the way that the way they perform, the way they do their gimmick, it's pretty awesome. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at Cesaro and Kid, and I'm not taking anything away from their like in-ring ability or anything like that, because it was all Cesaro. Cesaro was definitely the guy that was getting most of the heat, you know, and they weren't given put in a position to showcase their character. Okay, you got a Kid who's just kind of a self-absorbed guy.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you have Cesaro, who's just it's kind of like a bully.
I guess like just with those groups, yeah, he's kind of just like a bully. I mean, they were meant to be heels, but they kind of became baby faces.
Yeah, because their performances were awesome.
Yeah, so
and then they started going with the New Day, and you know they could.
That was the best. That's my favorite feud of the year in the WWE for me. So then, Tyson Kidd got hurt, and now the New Day. I don't see why you're not just holding the belts in the New Day, building them as a heel team, because the only thing you're waiting on is either the Usos to get healthy, or I wouldn't like to see it at this point, but in retrospect, hindsight, Ken Cesaro to come back. But now Cesaro, I feel like Cesaro's elevated himself with this U.S. title hunt.
I would much rather have the Lucha Dragons with the belt as baby faces, rather than the primetime players.
I can totally see that.
As you want vanilla baby faces? Yeah, put it on the fucking Lucha, and then build up Kalisto. You know, that's all. And then between them and the New Day, what a great dynamic.
I definitely agree. And then next up, we had Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. A match that I thought the build-up was really bad. I wasn't excited about watching this match at all. But I thought that this match did really well, especially with a lot of time. I thought this was one of the best Bray Wyatt matches I've seen. I really like how he played to not necessarily the crowd, but played up his character in the little spots between the moves and the like when he had Roman in the headlock, he was talking up to, I guess, like God or whatever, just like speaking. And then whenever he slammed Roman for a moment, he looked to the crowd, like kind of like stared off to the distance and like played with the ropes a little bit. You kind of really saw that he was like a little bit crazy, a little bit deranged. And the first time I've ever seen that kind of just, I guess, storytelling from Bray Wyatt and his character. And then I really felt like the longer time helped with that, like slowing down the pace, spreading it out. And I mean, it was Roman held his own in the match too. I got to give it up to him. So I was really excited for this match. And then Luke Harper kind of bringing back the Wyatt family.
Well,
a little
that
bit.
was the only thing that saved it for me.
Yeah.
I'm on the complete opposite end.
Okay.
I'm on the complete opposite end. The match went too long. I mean, from a guy whose repertoire is a punch, a slap, a clothesline, and a kick. Not his finisher, not the Superman punch and not the spear, but just his whole, without any real ring psychology. It's a punch, a slap, a kick, and a clothesline. Right?
Mm-hmm.
His only charisma is when he actually hits someone. He sort of leans back, like he does the whole he just sort of reacts like, yeah, dude, clothesline, yeah, clothesline,
yeah, love it, yeah.
And so his character isn't seasoned enough to go for fucking 22 minutes worth of fighting. I mean, the match was like 22 minutes, and for two guys who just kind of hits hard, that really hit hard, they could have accomplished what they could have accomplished in half the time. Like literally half the time, and not been just this drag out of how loony Bray Wyatt is, and it exposed Roman Reigns, his lack of being able to convey his story as a fighter to the crowd. I think it did more damage than it did help, and I think and with the fact that Bray Wyatt is overperforming him.
Mm-hmm.
The shift of who's the baby face and who's the heel gets blurred, where it's like it's hard to root for a guy who doesn't really give you anything, and it's really easy for a guy who gives you everything about him. So I feel like the booking put Roman Reigns in a battle that he wasn't ready for. Say take another opponent. Say like Big E, I think he could have. Big E can't out. He doesn't have enough charisma to where it would overshadow Roman Reigns, or even because Dolph Ziggler's a good performer, but he's not like someone who's like overly charismatic, like Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Where you're reacting to more his nuances as a character rather than his in-ring performance. Because all he does is kick, punch. He does some things.
Yeah.
But he's a kick, punch, clothesline guy.
For sure.
And just those two, it's just too much of one set move with the babyface being outshined in charisma. So I just feel like it did more damage than it did help.
I guess for the overarching story of what WWE is trying to accomplish, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it
but
really is.
I was just, as far as like just me being entertained, I thought it was cool.
So you got so the only thing that really popped for me was
Harper coming back.
Yeah, Harper coming back, and the realliance of so far is it's 2/3 of the Wyatt family. Rowan is still out. His bone. His muscle thing is more serious than it is. It's almost as if we'll probably see Sami Zayn back before we see Rowan because it fell off. It's one of those things where his shit basically almost fell off. His bone. I mean, the muscle fell off the bone.
Oh shit!
Yeah, like the Patriot. Like it's very serious. So he's going to be out just as long. But you look at a guy like Harper who's been floundering on his, and I say bring in another guy.
That's what I was.
I say bring in another guy. Like that's.
I feel bad, but that's what I suggest. I mean, you could probably find a lot of guys in NXT that are better in-ring technicians than Rowan that could wear.
They don't need an in-ring technician. They just need a heavy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's 3 or 4 heavy guys that are just better in-ring technicians.
No, just a heavy.
Well, yeah, you can be a heavy and be it.
Byron Corbin.
No, they're not gonna. They got bigger plans for him.
I know.
I mean, but there's a few guys that I just see them all the time. It's just like they're like jobbers in NXT, but they're big dudes that could wear. What did he wear? Like a sheep mask and a janitor's outfit.
But he still has to be he has to be something that's intimidating. You just can't put a ham and egg in a sheep mask and think he's going to get over.
I think that's what they did.
What Rowan? But Rowan's a big intimidating guy though. Like just at his look. Who on NXT who even looks as intimidating as Rowan?
There's a guy that Samoa Joe wrestled last week. I forget his name. Hold on one second. Tischer. I guess he was one of the new signees. He's from Germany.
Who did he play? Who did he fight?
He wrestled Samoa Joe.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I think aesthetic-wise, he looks a lot like Rowan, but he's from Germany, and that's a big hotbed.
He looks like a fucking. He looks like a zombie apocalypse guy. That guy, bald head, and he's like.
No, that's Marcus Louis.
I like Marcus Louis.
Yeah.
I like Marcus Louis.
No. Yeah, he would be good too. Yeah, just like we were saying, we're saying tons of guys in NXT that could fill Rowan's shoes. It sucks for Rowan. I mean, I've always liked what he did with his set of skills.
But we just need that faction going.
Yeah.
Which carries over to the idea that Ambrose is back involved. So you take one of the biggest, this was like 2 years ago, one of the biggest feuds that was happening was the Wyatt family and the Shield. That carries over to this Monday's Raw. So, I mean, that's all I really have to say about it. It looks like we're going to get like sort of a, like a
faction
war. One third of a faction.
Yeah.
Revisiting of a feud.
You know who the rumors to come back at SummerSlam as well, other than Undertaker. Sting. Yeah. So I think Sting with his age would be great to fill in.
Oh fuck no.
A 6-man.
Keep Sting as far away from that debacle as possible.
What?
You got a guy who's failing at being a babyface. In Roman Reigns, being over, like who's failing. The Roman experiment needs to be extended. It just needs to be extended a little bit longer. This match exposed a lot of his flaws. That's why I just say you got a guy in Dean Ambrose who they just refuse to really get behind, right? You take Bray Wyatt, who they just refuse to give him a big win. And you get Harper, who's a bona fide jobber. Now, I mean, as of now, who's to say how things will change once they redo this feud? Who's to say what's going to change out of this? This is going to be that much more. It's almost like they used each other to elevate their careers. Now they're going to revisit how they launched each other's careers and move forward from that. So we can only tell what's in store. But not Sting. Keep him the fuck away. But I have an idea when we get to when we start talking about the actual match between Bray, Rowan, and Ambrose and Reigns on Raw. What's the next?
The next match is that 3-way: Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Brie. Obviously, this match. I would say this match is very hindered by Brie Bella. She tried, but she's just not as good as these other two. That's very, very apparent to me because I watched the NXT show, which had Sasha Banks and Charlotte as the main event.
I saw that.
Yeah, and then I watched the pay-per-view right afterwards. So I saw what they could do just by themselves, and I've seen what they could do by themselves for months and months in NXT. And then putting Brie in there just kind of just shows that you can bring these girls up, just like I think Peter said and a lot of people said. You can bring these girls up, but if the writing's not there and if the other girls aren't at the caliber of work rate they're at, there's going to be a little bit of hiccups. And I feel like that's what this match was just a bit of a hiccup because Brie's just not, I don't think...
fit. She's not fit.
She can't do the move.
She's not fit. She's a valet. She's a valet that's become a wrestler. And it's funny, too, because you take Ava Marie, who's trying to get her game up and shit, right?
Yeah.
And there's a clip from Total Divas of the Bella Twins, of all people, telling her that she can't wrestle. Right?
Yeah.
And it's more an intimidation factor. Really, they're intimidated by the younger, prettier girl.
For sure, why not?
Who's basically going the same route that they are, that has as much of an upside because Vince is hot on her. Like he's Ava Marie. That's my girl. And you can fuck and suck Daniel Bryan, and you can fuck and suck John Cena all day. But the leverage that Ava Marie has, that she's Vince's personal favorite, This is why she's hasn't gone anywhere.
Haven't been fired yet. Yeah.
Even with the disapproval, of everyone, they're threatened.
Of course.
And you look at this match, and I go and I say, like this could have been just. They needed Brie in there. They needed Brie in there to advance the story.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But the you can every time that she was in a sequence, I rolled my eyes because Sasha and Charlotte had to dumb themselves down.
I mean, yeah,
to allow her to keep up when she does the yes kicks.
Yeah, they're kind of.
Oh my
they're
god!
They're a step behind Daniel Bryan's, and obviously they're not going to be as hard hitting.
The double running bulldog.
Yeah,
I just.
But not to take anything away from Sasha and Charlotte in this match. They pulled it. They did a few topes. Sasha did that one cool spot where she stacks the ladies up and then double.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I think with even as bad as some of the WWE divas are, these NXT girls can work with them, get them a little better, and still showcase their talents. And I think this is very apparent.
And Charlotte wins with the figure 8.
Oh yeah,
on Brie.
Yeah, and Cole made sure to call it right this time.
Yeah, and it was the right call.
Yeah. She cried.
Yeah, I mean, like it was the right call. I just go, okay. When I did my last week's Without You, that's one of the things I said. It's 2 things that need to happen with the WWE in order to cater to this big move that they're making by bringing these 3 girls in. A, they gotta give them 2 segments. You got to give the divas 2 segments. By shortening the beginning and cutting the end, trimming the show to allow them 2 segments. That's what I said. They got to get 2 segments. B, you got to give them a head of fucking steam. Right? Now, she put the figure 8 on Brie. She has nothing to lose. Brie has nothing to lose. She's the jobber. She's as much of a jobber.
She's so you can get heat on Nikki without pinning Nikki.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what Alicia Fox is too.
Yeah, they're bona fide jobbers. Putties.
Yeah.
And so Sasha Banks doesn't tap out. Charlotte Flair looks strong. And even onto Raw, I mean, there's not much I want to talk about that match in particular, but Sasha Banks taps out Paige. And it's like, okay, we get it. Paige doesn't need the rub right now. She's good. She's over. It's just like give the NXT girls head of steam.
Little push.
Give them some momentum. Just give them a head of steam because if they fuck up, if they put the wrong combination in where one person doesn't go over and one person does that doesn't really need to, it will fuck the entire experiment up. Like seriously. And I'm just waiting for them to fuck it up.
Okay.
I'm just waiting.
I can see. I'm hopeful, but definitely history is on your side. Yeah.
And just to jump into the Raw, that was the Becky Lynch show.
I didn't get to see it, man.
Oh god.
I only watched thin bits of Raw because we had to make the podcast.
It was the Becky Lynch show. So they got a showcase because there was 2 segments, 2 diva segments on Raw.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, ain't that a bitch? That's what I fucking asked for. So you get Charlotte with this win. You get Sasha Banks tapping Paige, and then you get the Becky Lynch show. Like she went in and did some fucking work, and she's getting over.
Paige and Becky have been wrestling for years and years and years.
Yeah, but like she brought out some stuff because I don't watch NXT as regularly as you, but she did some stuff that was the first time me seeing. Because anytime I see NXT, Becky Lynch isn't really showcased.
Yeah.
It's more Sasha Banks, it's more Bayley, it's more Charlotte. So she did some stuff that was so unorthodox.
Well, she's
her gimmick is awesome.
She's definitely the veteran of the 4 NXT divas that people talk about and know about. She's been wrestling forever. She's been wrestling almost as long as Natty has.
Yeah.
And she's wrestled with Natty in Japan. She started in the UK just like Paige, just like Finn Balor.
Well, she started in Finn Balor's school.
Yeah. So she's wrestling Shimmer, which is the top all women's organization in North America. So she has the credentials to.
She has the look.
Yeah.
I like her a lot.
Yeah, that tummy.
And what about her tummy?
It's nice.
Oh yeah, I guess I have a liking for Irish girls or like.
Oh yeah.
And her gimmick is great. Her gimmick, she looks like an anime. She looks like
with the orange hair, the goggles.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of like Fluey Cluey. I guess if any nerds are listening out there, it's like a 4-piece anime series about this really weird girl from outer space, and she kind of takes on Fluey Cluey, and she takes on the Fifth Element. It's a combination of those two, and it makes for a really good package, especially in a girl with a very unique. Now, even her charisma in itself is a little Lita-ish. It's a little, but why not? Why not?
It's been years.
Yeah, it's been fucking years.
Yeah, and then I agree there. We move on to the rubber match: Cena versus Owens.
Oh yeah, we don't got to talk much about the actual match unless you want to call out some moves.
Oh well, I mean, they kind of tease the springboard stunner, but then Owens catches him for the German. I really like that, and then I just think it's awesome that John Cena is trying this hard, this late, and this established into his career. That shows that he really gives a fuck about business and gives a fuck about helping the younger guys. I don't know, as a whole, but he taps. He taps.
That's the only thing.
He tapped out Owens.
The right thing was to have Kevin Owens lose.
Yeah.
It was the right thing. In history, you take your top baby faces, when they come down to the third one, if they're carrying the company, you give them the win.
Yeah, why not?
Hands down. I don't agree with their tap, but that was going to be my question. Because all over the internet right now, the tweets, the YouTubes.
I don't think you should get up in arms about
it. The podcast. Up in arms? These motherfuckers got the tar and the feathers and the pitchforks and the burning crosses that John Cena just buried another guy.
I mean, yeah, don't get up in arms about it. He didn't bury him. He actually made him. He had a 3-month feud with the NXT champion who happens to be Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens. Like, go back in perspective, go back 6 months, go back a year, and tell yourself that John Cena just buried Kevin Owens in a match on a WWE pay-per-view. You're going to probably be, like, pretty shocked. He didn't bury anybody. Tapping to Cena is not a burial. Tapping to Cena is what happens when you're in the WWE.
when you write that, when you sign that check.
So I mean, I don't think it was the right decision for him to lose. Should he have tapped? No, I would have kept him a little more strong. Yeah. But that's a personal little opinion. That's a nitpick, And don't freak out over a nitpick,
Hey, but from our last conversation, you were saying that Owens was going to take the belt off of Cena. And I was just like, you're going completely against your creed.
I know. I thought that was going to happen, but just something. I guess I was getting a little bit too worked up. Maybe my own what I wanted to see.
The bigger picture, and everyone's talking about, oh yeah, he's going to go to the mid card. Like obviously, he's going to go to the mid card. This was a mid card feud. Once you think about it, it was a high profile feud, but it wasn't the top of the card feud. The top of the card feud was Brock Lesnar. He's the guy on top of the mountain, and whoever the fuck he faces. And just so happens is Seth Rollins, who's the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
But that's only because he got the heat and he took the belt from Lesnar.
Yeah.
So he just has this it's pretty much like a hot coal that Lesnar heated up that Rollins just took.
Yeah. So people are talking about, yes, he's dropped to the mid card. It's like he was already in the mid card, guys. It was high profile. It's against
and I mean, did you not see him? Okay, come on, guys.
And you
saw him wrestle Rusev. You saw him wrestle Cesaro. These matches in the mid card are going to be more suitable for his style. If he did these matches with Cena, Cena's obviously, that's why he gets so much shit. Is he's not maybe as technically sound as a lot of people would like. Putting him in the mid card would put him with these guys that are technically sound. Would put him against, the Cesaro, even all the way down to a Neville and a Stardust. Like,
it just depended on
matches.
It's just
across the board.
Say take what happened on Raw. We'll move to that. I thought that. I'm not going to say that. I was thinking that you were going to whip out the old small violin, but I really thought you had feelings, like actual feelings. I'm actually caught off guard, man. I'm caught off guard.
See, Kevin Owens. Yeah, he was in the indie scene and everything, but he was just never. I guess just. as silly as he's never like my favorite. You know, like I never really like was that invested. It's cool that he's going up, and I've seen his career, but I never really was. He was never like my dude. So like I think that might be the thing. There's like I'm not too invested in Kevin. Sami Zayn, I mean, I'd be pretty pissed, man. El Generico, El Generico doesn't tap to nobody.
God, that guy, when he said it on NXT that he wasn't going to be back until like mid next year.
Yeah,
that was a bummer. I mean, the way he even addressed it was pretty. I mean, it was believable.
As far as the WWE career, he's probably not. He's probably going to be looked at as. Should we put the belt on him? We just put the belt on Daniel Bryan. He got hurt. We put the IC belt on him. Daniel Bryan got hurt. And then we bring Sami Zayn up.
But
just a similar build, a similar style. Like, not a similar style, but like...
I say this. Him addressing the crowd in that manner and giving that timeline, it's like, okay, we're waiting till March.
Yeah, people are going to count.
March.
August, September.
No, they're not going to count. Actually, they're just going to wait. They're just going to be like, okay, all right, around April, he'll be back. So let's just say his injury, maybe it was a ruse. Maybe he shows up as like number 18 in the Royal Rumble.
Oh, dude.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that's great. That's drama. That's how you build suspense. That's how you make people forget you. And like not necessarily forget you in a bad way, but just like we're waiting for you to come back and we're gonna wait till April. We have no choice in the matter. But what if his injury isn't as bad? And it's like, you know, fucking his music just hit at the Royal Rumble. That would be so fucking ridiculous.
That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome.
Wild.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it was a great match.
So yeah, it was something else that I wanted to mention about the Cena. Was it? I guess it had hit me in due time. I guess it had hit me in due time. But what? Next up is Brock Lesnar, and
yeah, we had that where Big Show chased out Miz because they did like a little spot there. But yeah, Big Show versus.
By the way, no, we will talk. Well, I will say this about that fucking Miz heel. That Miz heel promo is his best work ever.
Yeah,
his best work ever. That was the best.
I'll have to rewatch it.
That was, if you rewatch that shit, he gets the crowd so pissed off because he went from, at first we didn't take him seriously as this sort of like A-lister wannabe, but like he's his, as Wade Keller would say, his delusion to the fact that he's a big star, like we're taking it seriously now. So he gets up in the ring and he starts talking shit. He brings up the Cardinals, man, and like the place. He's like, they couldn't even really get the heat on him. Like they couldn't even really get their claws with the heat on top of him because he just cuts them off. It's just like, when my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut.
I love that shit. I love that shit.
And it's just
like
like
an elementary school teacher or some shit.
Big Show comes out and becomes the biggest babyface of the night.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Like, are you going to turn Big Show again for the billionth time?
Do it. Who cares? Big Show needs to just slowly come down the card. Matches with Miz.
The pop he got when he came out to shut him up. Like, no! And this is what I was telling you before. It's like in this three-way whole debacle. Is that Miz is going to steal all the heel heat from Big Show.
Well, I think Big Show could stay a heel, but just be a badass who doesn't want this like whiny dude who happens to be a heel as well, like running his mouth. You know, he
doesn't work that way.
He could, yeah.
That Miz right now is the most effective heel in the company, and you want instant baby. You
wouldn't say Rollins?
No, I say Miz.
Okay.
I said the payoff. Who doesn't want to punch Miz in the face? You got two people to punch in the face. You got the Miz, and you got Seth Rollins. Who the fuck are you punching?
I'm going Miz all day.
You going Miz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go Miz. You go Miz.
Yeah. So he, to me, is the biggest heel in the company. So if you're trying to like put him in a fucking a triangle with another heel, that other heel doesn't have a chance to get heat at all.
That's true. That's true.
Even on Raw, like we'll get there, but it was another funny scene with the Miz and the Big Show. It was a match, actually.
We go into Rollins versus Brock. Match was just pretty much a mirror of what Cena and Brock at SummerSlam last year was. He's just throwing him around the ring. Heyman was really great here, saying "I told you so."
It looked like Kofi. It looked.
Yeah.
It was basically the same match, but
A little more brutal.
4 minutes longer.
My favorite spot of the match was when Rollins was trying to run away, just like he did on Raw, just like what got all the heat, and Lesnar hurdled the barricade, got his ass, brought him back in the ring, started whipping his ass a little more. It was all Lesnar. I think there's 2 suicide dive attempts, and then Rollins went in for the third. Got stopped by Lesnar.
But the psychology
more German
of that
suplex.
was brilliant.
Yeah,
him actually getting, because that's the thing about Rollins is what I don't like with the booking, because they make him into a buffoon. They make him into a fucking buffoon.
Yeah.
But then he has these flashes of being a badass, which all started at the 3-way at Royal Rumble. Right? He was this bad motherfucker.
Yeah, he did the Falcon's Arrow.
Well, he just held his own. Like, as a weasel, I'm just like, you fuck. I want you to be a scumbag, not a weasel. Right?
Yeah.
You should be Kevin Owens. You know,
Sure.
not a weasel. So you get here, right? He's concerned. He steps up to Brock, right? And you can tell he's still concerned, but he's like, fuck this. There's no turning back. He gets in there. He gets some offense. He gets tossed twice. And then he gets up and gets some more offense. To where it's like, why are you booking him to be a buffoon and a weasel when he can actually get offense? Not the average Joe can get offense on Brock Lesnar. He was given an opportunity to give 2 chances. But the thing about Brock, I could compare Brock's his agile, how agile he is, how fast and how quick and how he leaps, to Cesaro's strength, right?
Yeah.
When Cesaro shows his strength, it's like, holy fuck, dude, like, whoa, right? That's awesome. Brock could throw a motherfucker around the ring all day.
Yeah.
It's just when he bolts after people, and you'd be like, holy fuck.
Yeah, jumps on the ring, jumps over the rail, things like that.
Yeah, that's what we're wowed by. How can a guy this big
Be fast. Yeah.
be this wily? Ooh, it's scary. It's like a zombie that can run fast.
Yeah, and then of course, everyone knows Rollins is done.
Hits the F5.
Yeah, it goes for the
13. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's fine. 13 Germans.
Not 16. It was 16 is the record.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's what Cena.
Oh,
16.
Yeah.
So
that's hilarious.
It's going to be a special moment when he gets. It's going to have to be a special fight for him to get a 17.
17. That's interesting.
We just hope it's not to Taker.
Man, get Taker out. Well, okay. Then he goes for the pin. You hear the bell gong. Taker's in the ring, and then he takes him out. Then Undertaker does a little bit of offense.
He kicks. No. There's no offense from. I think Brock Lesnar gets him down when he tries to go for the chokeslam the first time.
Mm-hmm.
He bounces out of it, and it's like it's a tackle. And then they get out of it, and he kicks him in the nuts. Undertaker kicks Brock Lesnar right in the ding ding.
That's a heel move.
I'm not focusing on that. When I saw it, I was like, "Oh shit, low blow." Because what
do you think about Taker's look?
He's an old fuck.
Yeah, he looks.
He
looks like Jeff Jarrett.
Man, he looks like he just looks old. And this is where, what's the word? The belief. What do you call it? Suspension of belief.
Disbelief.
We have to look at him as the Undertaker.
It's getting harder and harder,
and not an old guy in the ring.
Yeah,
like we have to separate the two. He's the Taker. He's probably has more chance of pulling that off, than not. He does, because he's the Taker. If it will take a very smarky dude, a very, very smarky dude who cannot let that go. But if you're a little bit of a mark, you can be like, you know what? Just like a comic book. All right, this guy's ageless. Even though he looks old, he's still ageless. And if you really want to go kayfabe on the motherfucker, you be like, that's just the flesh that his spirit is in. That is growing old until it becomes replaced with Barry Corbin. I'm still running with it, man.
Fantasy booking over here.
I know.
But do you want to just maybe like I didn't get to I gotta admit, guys, I didn't get a chance to watch all of Raw. There's a lot of wrestling to catch back up on. But we can maybe gloss over some stuff.
Yeah,
the stuff I remembered.
Well, so Raw it starts off with Taker, which is pretty badass. He cuts like a super short promo.
I wonder the first time when that's happened last.
Yeah, a very long time.
At least 10 years.
He cuts a super short promo. It's like, that's how you do it, Triple H. Right? He gets in, he tells his purpose, and he's like, hey, the streak, hey, it happens. Shit happens. You know, but you rub it in my face, I'm coming for that ass, fuck you. Right?
Yeah, it was
and
awesome.
he's done. It's like only 6 minutes goes by, and all I could think, him walking to the ring was longer than his promo. Then the first thing in my head is like, man, I hope the guys in the back are like really watching this. This is how it's done. And the only problem I have with the opening segment is that as soon as he's done, I'm just like, sweet, that's how you do it, Triple H. Guess who shows up on the screen? Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. They're like, wait, we got 7 more minutes. And so it turns into them just booking, I'm not going to go segment for segment, but like it's them. It revolves, after his promo revolves around the idea of keeping The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar apart, because they're looking at this as both, hey, we don't want this place to come down crumbling because we got these 2 fucking Goliaths about to kill each other, and B, we want to promote this match. They turned promoter, they turned Don King, which I thought was pretty weird. Where they
There's a little inside.
Yeah. They turned promoter. We don't want them touching because we're trying to, hey man, we got to sell this fight.
I had a little problem with that, though, because I thought if these 2 guys are the biggest badasses in the world, there should be some guys being like, I'm not going near those guys. Fuck that. But I mean, that's nitpicky. I think the segment itself, like if I'm flipping through channels,
they were ordered to,
like I
like
watched,
a bunch of jabronis.
I watched it with some people that don't watch wrestling, and they were like, "Whoa, is this a real fight?" They kept asking if it was a real fight. I was like, I mean, I didn't want to ruin anything for them, but I'm just like, I was thinking, no, it's wrestling. It's still wrestling. Yeah.
I do think, I will say, the way that they handled those segments were pretty good.
Yeah, if that was the route you were going to go by, they did it perfect.
Yeah,
but I don't
especially
think
the part where he's on the phone with Heyman. That's when he runs into the Miz and sets him up for the match against the Big Show.
Yeah,
but like Paul Heyman's in the building, you just kind of see him like at a distance. He's like, Paul, because he's like, don't be here, dude. He's like, Paul. And Paul, you can tell Paul's kind of like hesitant to walk over, and he walks over. He's like, what the fuck are you doing here? He's like, Brock, I can't control Brock. I mean, yeah, I told him, but he's his own man.
No, he said he wasn't even there.
No, yeah, he said he wasn't there.
Lied,
yeah, it's like, yeah, you could tell that they're both in on like, no, he's here, and it's like, but it's well done. It's almost like, because it's like the camera was moving, and it was like anxiety in the room, and that's all it was. And I thought that's what played this so great, because it was people on edge, and that's basically how that goes about until the brawl takes place. Charlotte versus Brie, and Charlotte wins with a spear, a 6 spear, into the figure 8, with Team Bad on commentary, which is Team Bad. I
would have put Nikki and Fox on commentary, and maybe had Team Bad just like maybe watching in the back.
No, it was fine. I just hate the name. Sasha Banks is
beautiful and
she was
dangerous, right?
She was a fucking showcase on the microphone. Like, it was awesome. It was great to hear Sasha Banks talk. And she held her own. You could tell that she was a little bit nervous, but she was going back and forth with Michael Cole.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole was putting it to the test, and she was holding her own. And I was like, this is more head of steam. Head of steam.
Yeah, I like that team. I think Sasha's lined up a little bit better than Becky and Charlotte, because Sasha's seen as like a little bit of the leader of a team, or at least separate.
Well, she's the champion. She's a champion of the group.
Yeah, and then where Charlotte and Becky, I guess I didn't see the Becky Lynch show, as you called it, but it looks like they're being led by Paige. So it looks like these 2 new girls are with Paige, where this one new girl is over here, and she's got the belt.
Yeah.
So
she's kind of like, she's cut out in her own.
She's got a niche.
She's as much as Nikki Bella with her faction.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, she stands out. She's hella hot. I can't stop looking. I can't stop looking at her.
She's the best worker on the Divas roster in NXT or WWE.
I can't stop looking at her. She is really one hot piece of ass.
Yeah.
And it's not only a hot piece of ass, it's like this hot piece of ass that would destroy me.
That's
would snap me in half. Like, no, I'm not. It's one thing to look at chicks in spandex, like volleyball girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at these girls like, ooh, volleyball shorts, fucking tall, slender, fucking super babes. But like their athleticism takes your attention.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
So it's not only is like I'm looking at this babe who's fucking great at what she does. So
she'll draw you in and she'll keep you there.
Yeah. She's very like, and very much like Naomi, because Naomi will always be first in my heart. Always. I mean, I love you, Becky, but Naomi will always be my first. But Becky, goddamn, you are right there, baby. You're right there. And Charlotte Flair, just this match itself, they're going to go with, once you really think about it, they're going to go with Charlotte first.
Yeah, that's the obvious one. I mean, old school fans are going to get behind her.
She's accepted.
Yeah.
And by the way, Kansas City,
great
good
crowd.
job. You know, he buried Omaha. You know what? I'm giving you guys the motherfucking rub. Like, y'all were awesome. And
I stayed in Kansas City, great place.
And you take what. She really is a reincarnation of a father. We want to root for Ric Flair always and forever. And the way her body is, the way that she even moved, she has Ric Flair's nuances.
Yeah.
How she kicks the ropes, how she rides the ropes, when she walks down. When she does the whole strut, I think that's pretty silly. But everything else, she has to a T. And when she does the chops, everyone is like, oh, come on. You're Ric Flair's daughter. Give it to us. And I think that's what she has going for her. There's no one that's going to turn on that. You know? Like, she is good. Like, she's made. I think she's made. I think you can't really fuck that up. I hope not. We are talking about the WWE.
This is true. Yeah, I think she's going to have the first go at Nikki for the belt. Maybe at SummerSlam. That's probably going to be a good SummerSlam match. She's had 2 wins in a row against Brie. I'm just saying, storyline wise. I mean, I know that's not a big deal.
And then we finally figure out. They finally address that you got Brock versus Taker.
Yeah.
It's official.
Yeah, and then we go into Los Matadors versus Primetime Players. Great match. This match was good. A lot of good offense, but
Los Matadores was awesome.
Yeah, Los Matadors.
Fine.
They finally got a chance to show off, and they did. You know, and
they've been on TV for so long.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to build them back up.
Well, they're not going to be built back up
if that's what they're trying. Yeah, if that's what they're trying. But then, of course, the New Day come and distract them, and
then distraction.
Los Matadors get the pin, and they didn't even use the bull. So,
well, you remember they had a little bit of dissension. It looks like they were going to have some dissension amongst the group. Right?
Yeah, I thought the bull was going to be a dragon for a little bit.
Something, but that they didn't. But that's the whole talk right now in the podcast world about how Vince McMahon doesn't give a shit about tying up loose ends. Like, no, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to y'all beefing? Nah, whatever. We're out here. But that was probably their best performance I've ever seen. When New Day came out, I was just so happy. I was like, man, oh man. I hope they're not out of the contendership.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they're not. And Xavier Wood, his last line, he's like, "You guys are horrible. You're horrible." Like, in a way, you're terrible.
He's great.
Yeah, I just thought it. The way he even his walk off was just. I laughed my ass off.
We're going to a Big Show versus Miz.
Quick work.
Yeah, I thought Big Show was great here. Double big power slam, big elbow drop from the second rope.
Yeah, like, what's all about this high flying shit? You got Ryback flying through the air.
Well, I think that's what hurt him, man.
And no, what hurt him is just being on that nasty ass ring. I mean, staph infection is just just disgusting. It's a bunch of disgusting inside of you.
Nah, they need to change. No, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, that's all that is. That's what a staph infection is.
However you spell, that's gross.
Yeah, I'm surprised, and maybe he's just more susceptible to getting them. Maybe his skin is more. Maybe his immune system isn't as strong. But like you talk about that ring, it's a filthy, filthy thing.
Well, I know now that if you bleed on it, they got to change. They change it.
Yeah.
So that's at least they're going the right direction.
I just love how. And at the same time, Miz still kept his heel heat, and people cheered on the Big Show. So it looks like Big Show has officially turned. He's kicking him. He's like, "What? You think I'm gone? You feel me? You feel me now?"
Yeah.
I laughed my ass off. But it ended up basically being a plug for Tough Enough. That's all it was. Yeah. That's all this entire segment was all about. A plug for Tough Enough. Have you seen an episode of Tough Enough?
I saw one on vacation. I happened to be flipping through channels in a hotel, and it was bad. It was I don't really see anything worth mentioning on any of the people in it. Like,
how many people? You know how many people saw it last week?
I mean,
not even a one.
Oh, really?
It dropped to like
it's not
900.
It's not a good. Well, none of them are good, so it's just constantly like Hulk Hogan doesn't give a shit. He's up there like, "Oh, don't, it's okay, guys." And then Brian is like trying to work with him, but Paige is just pissed. She's like, "No, you guys are not good. You need to get that." Like, so,
she's the Simon.
Yeah, she's totally the Simon, but she's just getting pissed. And Hogan, you can just tell, is just in there taking a check, like doesn't care. He's just like, "Oh."
But apparently,
there's one smart Mark who yells about how, but he'll like yell like, "You think you just because you're a big man, this ain't the '80s anymore." But these people don't watch wrestling, so they're just looking at him like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, yeah. So, and then Hogan said something. He's like, "You're just a smart Mark. These guys are at least trying hard." And that was the one like kind of like negative thing Hogan said the whole episode. Yeah. But it's an alright. I mean,
but
it's
apparently
whatever.
the best thing out of and this, I need to check this out more than Tough Enough. I have never seen Tough Enough. Tough Talk with the Miz. Apparently, that's really good
on the network.
If you do yourself a favor and listen to the Wade Keller, they talk about that and the dynamic of Tough Enough. Wade explains it perfectly, and it's the reason why it's failing. He talks about what about it. It's like he said. It's like next big star or whatever. Like what do you call it? America's Got Talent combined with the big race. Like
Amazing Race,
right? And like there's no, he goes, we're not getting any wrestling content. All we getting is like, okay, this dumb obstacle they have.
Well, even the shows,
and then it goes to them being voted on. Whereas like there's no in between of them actually getting actual wrestling training.
Yeah, I mean, it was 8 a.m. I was flipping through channels and I just happened to watch it.
Were you tough enough to watch it?
I watched about 20 minutes. And then I went downstairs, got my free breakfast on.
Well, yeah, the holiday.
We were at Super 8.
Super 8!
And guess who was on Fox News? JBL. So I got my wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I saw JBL, also Tough Enough.
Corica?
I couldn't hear it. It was silent.
I think the name of that show is called Corica.
Yeah, he's just one of these talking heads. He's in Bermuda, so they show his like nice-ass house in the background. He looks...
they talk about...
He looks like a G in the thing. He's just
posing. It's actually good discussion of, say, what's happening in the business world. It's funny that he's like this. He's this guy from WWE, and then like he's the straight lace because Layfield he owns energy, Layfield Energy. Like he's some guy who's respected in the world of like big business and energy and stock market. Like he's a guy, and so he's on there. He could talk on the mic. Very much like Jonathan Coachman,
Yeah.
Do you ever watch Jonathan Coachman on ESPN?
I mean, from time to time, he's on SportsCenter, right?
Because is it still hard to separate the fact that he was...
Yeah, still.
Like, Rock's bitch?
Oh.
I
still know. Even every time he comes on, I'll get a little pop. Like, oh, that's the coach!
Yeah, go!
And nobody knows what I'm talking about. I'm like, no, he used to be on wrestling. And I was like, okay, Jake, there you go again, talking about wrestling.
There you go, talking about wrestling. But apparently he loves talking about it.
That's awesome.
But the second hour is the Paul Heyman promo, which brings out The Undertaker.
Yeah, this is great.
Thus
just kicking off the brawl.
It thus starts this brawl, and dude, how do you feel? What was your take on
Well, I mean,
brawl?
like we already said, like I would not have gone with the brawl because I definitely think it makes the whole roster look bad. But like since they did it, it went perfectly the way. If this is your plan, this is the perfect way to do it. Like show them going up the ring, then up the ramp, then backstage. I thought it was R-Truth kind of stole a segment for me. I was cracking up at him the whole time because he got his camera time, which is hilarious.
There was one part in the when they were in the ring and they had Undertaker in the corner, like in the babyface corner, and one of the Ascension guys is standing right there, and just Undertaker just turns and he kind of like just hits him like 5 times. Hits him, he just pops him hard like 5 times, and like the guy, I don't know, Victor, he's just like.
What the fuck,
Like,
man?
dude, because he just turned and just starts hitting them out of the blue. I was wondering, did anyone else see that? I thought that was fucking, that was gold.
Yeah, so Victor from the Ascension, R-Truth, you guys stole the show.
And I think who gets his shine in there? I think Zack Ryder tries to get some camera time in there too. But yeah, But the standing moment, the moment of this brawl that really means anything, is the dialogue between the two while they're at each other's throats. And it was like the quote. It was like the moment of the quotes of the night. I'll kill you. And Undertaker goes, "You're gonna have to." It was like there was no space in between what Brock had said and how the reaction was, because the cameras wasn't even on him, but they said it. You just kind of heard it, and you knew that was Brock going, "I'll kill you," which you don't say. You know, he was given the allowance to say this. Like, let's make this into like real heat between the two of you, because apparently there's been a little heat between them anyway. So this was like them sort of playing out that fantasy, that actual fantasy of actually hating one another, because the WrestleMania match wasn't heat between the two of them. It was just like, hey, I'm coming after your streak, you know, and that was it. But now it's just like, we fucking hate you. I'm gonna kill you. You're gonna have to. I just thought that was brilliant. And then they go in this segment, they go to commercial, and then they come back, which results in another 3-minute scuffle, which results in Brock Lesnar having him written off. He's zip tied cuffs, and hauled off in a paddy wagon. We don't know what happens to Taker, but we know the fact that.
I wonder I think this is probably the last time you're going to see him until SummerSlam.
Until his next scheduling is August 3rd.
Oh, really?
Like August 3rd, yeah.
Brock's?
Yeah, Brock's.
Okay, well, I guess that's when we'll see him. Well, I mean, yeah, it was great segment. I'm stoked for this match. I think Taker gets his win back here. And I think they set up a retirement angle for Mania.
Hey bro, that's prediction material, okay?
Okay.
We saved the prediction material.
And then we got the Bray promo, and then Harper versus Roman. This is the last match I actually saw other than the main event. I love this match. I liked how Roman roped him into putting them both on the apron for the big drop kick on the apron. That spot was cool. I'm really getting into this feud, man. I don't know, call me crazy, but I think
crazy. You're crazy.
This Bray Roman feud is looking good.
The only thing my takeaway is that we're getting a piece of a really good feud from the Shield.
2 years ago.
Yeah, you know, this is because that definitely carried that year. You know, it was probably the best feud of that year, and again, it elevated both those factions to superstar status. Like, we know who Bray Wyatt is. We know, and basically right now the Shield is just they're carrying the company on their own, damn near, outside of say the Cena Challenge. But that's really what I'm getting out of this. Let's see the drama of those 4 guys going at it once again. My only thing is this. I feel like what's going to happen is, and it's not fantasy booking, and it's not me hoping that this happens, but I definitely see Ambrose becoming a Wyatt.
Ambrose becoming a Wyatt?
I see Ambrose becoming a Wyatt.
Like, I can see that, like, converting him over a little bit. Yeah, that would... They try to do it with Bryan, but I think it would work a little better with Ambrose.
What was I screaming the whole time during the Harper-Ambrose feud? That they should be a fucking tag team. They wear the same clothes.
Yeah.
A fucking white beater, tank top, jeans, and boots. And they both are insane, I just wanted them to fucking, like, just team up. And even his I even said that with him and Bray Wyatt when they had their feud. They like, I could see them beating each other to a bloody pulp, and then just looking over at each other like, dude, you're cool. Let's team up. So, you really want to get... I mean, I guess they're not going to give Ambrose the babyface push that he deserves. Why not?
I mean, I don't know.
Why not?
He moves a lot of T-shirts, apparently. That's why he's got so many of them. He's got like 3 out right now, so I think they're going to keep him babyface.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not hoping for it. I'm just saying I see it coming.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. And then we go into the Rollins promo.
Basically, what's funny is that, like, those 2 segments, the Brawl and the Bray Wyatt Harper, that took up the whole second hour.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was like 5 minutes. And,
well, the Brawl was pretty long.
And one thing that I remember seeing on Twitter, I think this is from Pat Neal. You know Pat Neal?
No.
He's from PW Torch. Well, anyway, with Bruce Mitchell and all that, those guys. He said, man, that looks like that should have been at the end of the show. Right? That Brawl. Like, it could have capped the show, right?
Yeah.
But all I thought was, anxiety's in the air. It's best that it was then. The second hour looked like it went by like that. Like in a flash.
For sure.
And then the anxiety's in the air. Another brawl breaks out between, like, the Ambrose, Reigns, and Harper and Bray. So it's like more anxiety in the air.
You're on the edge of your seat a little bit.
Which brings us to
Rollins pretty much bragging about how he's the champ. He went in there and he ultimately kept the belt versus Brock Lesnar, even though he got his ass kicked. And Cena came out pissed that he's not a real champion. Blah blah blah. He's been to the U.S. title. He's been defending, and he's pretty much saying that it's on par with the WWE title because he's been defending it week after week, which is an awesome angle. We've just seen it done in Ring of Honor. I love this angle. I love the dueling belt angle. I don't know, and I think that this dynamic, we've already seen it before, like last year, of Rollins and Cena, is a great dynamic. And
but this was the inevitable thing, though. Yeah. This is something that we talked about before.
This was supposed to happen, and it's happened.
And when he came out, and I think there was like this super smarky Mark gasp that happened when he came out, when you heard his music hit, and it was like the eye rolls heard around the world.
Well, I loved it. I don't
know. I don't mind it, but as soon as he comes out, I go, John fucking Cena. Oh, look, he's in title contention yet again.
Whoa.
Like, I just thought it was pretty funny.
He's only lost once since Mania. He's lost once to Owens. So I feel like he is legitimately in title contention, and
I know, but like, it doesn't take a blind man to see it coming. Yeah. Like, it was just so obvious.
Every year in the summer, man. It's John Cena's summer every summer. He won the Money in the Bank double belt last summer.
Well,
he's got the U.S. title, and he's gonna
When we talked last time, I was like, maybe he doesn't go back up to the title contention. Maybe he floats around in the mid card just a little bit longer, right? Mm-hmm. The ratings say no. The ratings are bad. These are the worst ratings they've had.
They went up though this week.
Yeah, but like because the last 3 weeks was like they had a 3, they had a 2, and then they had like a 2-9, and then went down like a 2-3. Yeah. So it's like, look, guys, we need our bread and butter, and Cena is your top guy. Cena is your bread and butter, regardless of how anyone feels, how he think they buried Owens, they could have made a new star. No, we get it. He did make him a star.
He did.
He has, for the company, he has to take the reins. And, okay, they got their big match for SummerSlam. Great. But those guys are going to go away, and the workhorse, again, will be John Cena. So,
And I feel like maybe, I mean, you could still do interesting things with the U.S. title if John Cena wins the world title. You could have him give it up, a big tournament, things like that. A tournament with every guy who wrestled for the Open Challenge. You could do something.
Or he can lose to Cesaro.
Well, that ain't wishful thinking.
Well,
Sting could come in on a hang glide.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying he has to win it clean. I just say he can win it. I mean, I think it would be kind of a shame if he would. You know how I said how I thought will hold up the title for an abeyance for NXT to move up to the main roster. Owens.
Yeah.
He lost it, and I think lose the belt. All right, I'm for losing the belt, not giving up the belt. And John Cena, he can't give it up. He's going to have to.
If he wins the world title, though.
Well, I think he'll lose the U.S. I'm not wishing for. And this is not fantasy booking here. I'm just saying he has to lose the belt. Mm-hmm. Everyone that moves up the card to get a world championship shot has lost the belt. Has lost either the Intercontinental belt or lost the U.S. belt. And the way that Cena's working, I don't see that work having to be anything different. I don't see an exception to the rule in this case. I see him losing in finally Cesaro gets not necessarily the upper hand. He gets a little help from something. Maybe he gets Rollins' interference.
Well, Cesaro's already had the U.S. title. I really feel like that would...
I know,
anybody else who takes the U.S. title, it immediately just sucks it back down. I really do feel like that.
Not how they've been building Cesaro versus Cena as of late. And now...
No, I say those matches will be over. Those matches will be big time. But as soon as the next night on Raw, Cesaro comes out, it's going to be seen in the public's eyes as just back in the underneath.
But you have a guy waiting in the fucking mist to get that title. Kevin Owens. So you refuel... And you refuel whichever... You can throw the dart at any one of those guys and it'll just work.
Well, that's why I think a tournament would be great.
But Dolph Ziggler is going to have to make his return to sort of get his vengeance on Rusev. So you just go ahead and rule him out.
No, you could throw a dart at any one of them. That's why the tournament would work. You have the first round. You take out your Stardust, your Neville, your Zack Ryders. That will lead to the four. The final.
Heath Slater's who made an appearance.
Yeah.
I think the crowd popped when he was on the TV.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So then you go your final four, which you would have your Rusev, your Cesaro, your Owens, and then maybe Neville or something. Someone that's like the crowd sees.
We've had enough tournaments though.
How many tournaments? The King of the Ring? That was it.
Well,
that was months ago.
But that was we had a tournament for. We had a tournament. What's it for the Intercontinental?
No, that wasn't. No. We just had the King of the Ring this year, and that was months ago.
And
this doesn't have to be like a one-show tournament like King of the Ring was. It could be drawn out through months build.
Nah, I'm not. All right, we're almost done.
And then we had the Divas match,
the second Divas match, which was again the Becky Lynch show. Paige taps out to the big statement to Banks. It's Becky Lynch, Paige versus Naomi and Sasha Banks. And I don't know. I just again ahead of steam. We already talked about.
I gotta watch it. Yeah. But what did you think of the main event? You told me just to watch the end, but I saw the main event.
Well, Lana. Well. Hey, just a really weird thing. Another movement in the storyline of the Dolph Ziggler Lana Rusev story. Lana is actually Summer is actually dressed up as Lana.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a weird dynamic. This is weird.
Rusev was just I like the way you're dressed, Summer. It was kind of creepy.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie California?
No, but it's someone's trying to take their identity. Kinda.
Well, it's a road trip. It's basically one of those. What do you call it when you post something up? Hey, we're going to this place. If anybody wants to ride with us to sort of share gas money, you can ride with us.
Carpool?
It's basically a carpool.
Yeah.
And it's basically it's what the fuck? Not Fine Young Cannibals, but the movie about the husband and wife that go killing people. It's Woody Harrelson and another person. Well, anyway, there's a scene where they're riding with these kind of suburban, happy-go-lucky yuppies, and but the people who take them out on this carpool are a bunch of creeps, a bunch of crazy fucks.
Yeah.
And come to find out, the guy has an obsession with the yuppie wife, right? So he starts dressing his girl up
like the wife.
So it's just ooh, that's pretty fucking eerie. So you got Rusev dressing Summer up as Lana.
It's creepy.
Yeah, it's really creepy. It's extremely creepy.
Yeah, and I think you kind of get that vibe, and then you kind of immediately don't feel bad for Rusev when what happens in the main event where...
Maybe. I felt bad for him.
I mean, yeah, so you got Cena, Orton, and Cesaro versus Owens, Sheamus, and Rusev. And it was a great six-man tag. Sheamus bails on the whole operation there.
Incidental contact.
Yeah, and then Owens and Rusev kind of get into it. And then
because Rusev's all fucked up, and Owens was like, "Where you at, dude?" He's like, "Oh, you ready? You here now? You ready?"
Yeah.
He hits his ass, and then they go back and forth, and Owens lays him out.
Yeah, Owens super kicks Rusev, and Rusev's girl Summer Rae was laid out, got attacked by his old girl Lana.
Yeah.
And then Rusev gets everyone's finisher.
Yeah, that was pretty epic.
The AA, the big spin into the catapult RKO.
Yeah.
Dude.
Something nice.
Dude. That's wrestling right there.
Well, I felt bad. I was like, this is the second week in a row where I feel bad for Rusev. He's put in underdog babyface situations.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of it. Well, I mean, he kind of puts it on himself. He's with that creep-ass girl, man. He kind of was a dick to his old girl, Lana. I mean, he shit on America for like a year. I don't feel bad for that dude. I don't feel bad for you, man.
Oh, that's great stuff. That's great stuff. Well, looks like we're definitely like hour and a half.
We're good, yeah.
We're good, and let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Again, that was one of the best Raws I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that women's match. It seems to be the only thing I really missed. I was kind of skipping the entrances.
Yeah,
and
watch
Becky.
Watch Becky Lynch, man. She's special. She's
awesome.
She's really special.
But if you want to follow me on Twitter at JG Pro Wrestling, and then Fashion the World podcast where we review NXT every week. We actually have 2 new ones up where we go over the divas from NXT going to Raw, and we have the one from last week up today, and then tonight we're going to have the other one up. So 3 big ones up today on SoundCloud.com/JG Pro Wrestling, and then we have big news after the Takeover special on the SummerSlam show.
Oh, that's how you win the quarter hour, man. That's called suspense.
Yeah,
that's Ryan Seacrest right there.
Oh yeah,
Look at you.
big.
After the break. Little bit of suspense. I would tell you all the other shit, but man, just
Japanese.
I ain't whatever, man. PJTW Central. Just go add me on PJTW Central on Twitter and bookmark PJTWCentral.com. Just bookmark that. You can actually go to the website and watch via YouTube on the website, whether it's Peter Talks SmackDown, whether it's Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, whether it's the New Day podcast, or what have you. The options are there to listen in either Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Tumblr if you have a Tumblr account as well.
Oh, yeah.
So just, again, PJTW Central on Twitter, PJTWCentral.com. Make sure you check out my live reactions to 4 matches from Battleground. I did Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. I did John Cena versus Kevin Owens. I did the 3-way chick match, the Divas Triple Threat, and then I did Brock Lesnar versus Rollins. I did a new thing. I put a PIP in. Well, before it was just me. Now, in the bottom of the screen, you can actually see as I'm watching.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had to learn that.
There you go. We're learning every day.
I know, right? And so, yeah, big shouts to all the people that are listening. Shouts to all the Twitter people I'm going back and forth with. And, yeah, be sure to check out Fast in the World. And that's about it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And that was pretty fun. On the new equipment.
I like it. I like the new shit.
Yeah. I hope it sounds better, guys. So,
later.
Peace.
You have been listening to Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast. Please tune in next week.